Well, in seminary, I took a class called The Impact of Judaism on Christianity, taught by Rabbi Howard Kablansky. So part of the class, we studied the book of Job, looking at it from a Jewish perspective, which is as it should be, since the book of Job was written by a Jewish author for a Jewish audience about Jewish theology. And of course, Jesus and his disciples and the Apostle Paul were all Jewish, so Jewish perspectives of the Hebrew Scriptures was relevant to them. And it ought to remain so to us as Jesus followers. Rabbi Kablansky, one of the best professors I ever had, pointed out on the first day of class that if you ask 3 rabbis a question, you will get 4 answers. And I minister, so today I'm providing you with my share, 1.33333 of the answers to some of the questions that our lesson raises. The point of the book of Job from a Jewish perspective is not to be a history lesson per se about a guy named Job. The point of the book is to teach. And one fundamental lesson it teaches is that the conventional wisdom that God supernaturally interferes in the world to dole out punishment and rewards for human behavior is not true. Job dismantles the idea that those who sin supernaturally suffer in life, and those who are righteous get supernatural rewards in life. And as a result, the book teaches a different way to imagine and understand God and life, and the good and the bad that we encounter all along the way. Humans have this thing about trying to harness and control things to shape their fate for all kinds of reasons. And that desire has long extended beyond the practical and has included imagining we can affect powers in the universe, even override the laws of nature through appeasing the creator of the universe. And the book of Job addresses this idea, and it contradicts it. In the story, the main character, Job, is without question a good and virtuous man, a great man, who under any divine reward and punishment system would have had his good behavior influencing God to only reward him. And that seems to be what's going on at the start of the book, but not for long. Early in the story, God asks Satan if he has noticed Job's blameless and upright life. And Satan is not the devil deity of later theologies. In the story, he hangs around with God, acting as a sort of advocate for conventional wisdom. And he sarcastically answers God's question by essentially noting that Job's been mollycoddled by God and has such a cushy life that Job has no reason not to be the goody two-shoes that God is so pleased with. Satan suggests that if Job were deprived of God's protection and carried changes to him and curse God to his face. In what seems almost like a modern bar scene conversation, God bets that if Satan takes away Job's good life, Job will still be virtuous. God, however, conditions the first bet on Satan not touching Job physically. Satan takes the bet, and he tests Job's mettle, taking away his livestock, his herdsmen, and his children. And Job mourns the losses and the turn of events, and he remains steadfast, though, in his love and his trust for God. And Job famously observes way back in chapter 1, "Naked I came from the womb, naked I shall return whence I came. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job notably does not sin or charge God with unreason in response to his calamities. So God wins this bet. And Satan, a sore loser, claims Job would have failed the test if he had personally suffered physical malady. So God bets again, this time allowing Satan to add the agony of physical suffering. Satan imposes such agony on Job that Job's wife advises him to curse God so that God will take his life and end his suffering. And that's what Satan claimed Job would do. But Job refuses to do it, saying, how can I accept good from God and not accept evil? After a week of silent mourning, Job breaks the silence, not by cursing God, but by cursing the day that he was born. His friends enter the scene then and spout conventional wisdom, asserting Job's sorrows and pain must be punishment for sins. But we know that's not true, and so does Job, because Job has done no wrong. Job may not have cursed God, but he's plenty riled and he wants to confront God. He wants essentially to have his day in court before God to learn why he has had to suffer so. God's friends salt the wounds with conventional wisdom, more of it, asserting that suffering is good for him, it will make him a better person. But we know that's nonsense, because the story tells us that there could be no better person than Job. And all of this begs the question that Job and readers of the story end up asking, why is this good man suffering? And we also tend to apply the question more generally in our own lives, asking, why do bad things happen to good people? Folks write books about it, have study groups, and preach sermons about it. Because if life was fair, if it played out in a quid pro quo way, there would be a supernatural reward and punishment system, and no one good would have bad things happen to them. But clearly they do. We do. Well, eventually Job gets his day in court to, in essence, ask God why. God does not directly answer the question. Instead, God leads Job to understand that the why for why people suffer is unexplainable to humans, as unexplainable as the wonders of the universe. And that at the end of the day, God is not accountable to humans for either suffering or to answer why they suffer at the hands of nature. And that's part of what we heard in the reading. God is speaking from the chaos of the whirlwind of life, asking where Job or any human was or is when the wonders of the world are created. I added verses 8 to 11 to the lectionary cutting because they have this wonderful image of God serving as a carrying midwife to the creation of the sea, and providing it with the care one would give a beloved infant, clothing and swaddling it and setting safe boundaries. Who shut in the sea with doors when it burst out from the womb, when I made the clouds its garment and thick darkness its swaddling band, and prescribed bounds for it? God loves creation. In the process of having his day in court, Job hears God's evidence and arguments that existence is done God's incomprehensible way, and it's decidedly not our way. God's summation is basically the question, are you God? And the answer in every human's head should be no. Humans are not God. And after the summation, Job comes to understand that God cannot be judged by human standards of justice. God is not accountable to us under human-made rules, nor is creation or the Creator within human control, at least not supernaturally. In the book of Job, we are meant to face our lack of understanding and control over cosmic things, but we're also meant to hear how to respond to cosmic things happening in life. It's not to try and influence the power of the universe. It's not to imagine God has some untold design that purposefully unfolds bad things on good people. The answer is that when troubling cosmic things happen in life, humans must go on and live the best life they can. And to help those who suffer, not make up reasons that claim it is the suffering person's fault or God's fault. Suffering will occur, and like Job, we can be upset and frustrated, questioning, and even angry. Those are natural responses. They are understandable, and they will not make God lash out at us. As we see in Job, God is big enough to handle it and understand it. Because we learn that suffering at the hands of nature is not God's response to our conduct, as conventional wisdom suggests. The point of the story becomes urging us, like Job, to be righteous in the face of adversity, and not just in the face of abundance, joy, and health. The point is to come to a point where we do our best in all things that come our way, good, bad, or evil. The point is of great import to all who, like Job, suffer. Bad things happen to good people, and we can be upset and frustrated and angry, but eventually we need to reach a point where we respond as best we can in the situation. Trust and love for God and self, others, and creation is the righteous response. It is our best response. Going forth as best we can, that is where God calls us and leads us and hopes that we will end up. Dealing as best we can with what has happened is not only helpful, it is what matters. From a Jewish perspective, you can see how this is a particularly meaningful message given the Jewish history of suffering as a people. We follow God because we do not suffer, but we follow God to be in right relationship with God in all things. And so compliance with God's way becomes the reward. In Judaism, a commandment of God's way is called a mitzvah. And doing a mitzvah is considered following a commandment, doing a good deed, and it's a reward. God's way is a reward all on its own that improves both the doer and the community. Every mitzvah, if you think about it, is about love and care for God, for self, for others, and creation. The cosmos, though, in a very real sense, moves along on a great and grand scale, indifferent to the happenings in our lives. It doesn't respond with rewards or punishments, not in the cosmic, supernatural sense. A thesis on the word commentary on this lesson notes that the utter indifference of nature to human beings is the closest we can come to grasping God's response in these verses. And the commentary goes on to quote a part of a wonderful poem called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. The poem captures the essence of the lesson that we cannot influence the powers of the universe to reward us or punish us. We can only love and be there for one another and care about creation. That is our best way of being. And we need to think of the oneness of creation and our being in that oneness. And the oneness is God. The reward of working on being at one is not wealth or suspended laws of nature. The reward is doing what is best, what is right. It's not about being good in ways some religious leaders try to dictate. It's about striving to our highest self in every single circumstance that we encounter. And I'm going to close in just a moment reading the whole of that poem. And as we hear it, consider how God is present in the acts of love and care and imagination that Mary Oliver refers to, and how God is even in the parts of creation that seem to string along without us, at least until we join them as one by answering the call to not only notice them and be in awe of them, but to be our best as a part of them. That's the point. be our greatest self, even in the midst of existence that by its definition unfolds with uncertain and uncontrollable, and sometimes bad happenings to good people like Job and you and me and absolutely everyone we know. Our imagination of God need not be of a divinity that lashes out or rewards us in supernatural ways. Our imagination of God can be of a divinity well beyond our comprehension, who not only longs for creation and our greatest existence, but offers the reward of being a part of that longing and its fulfillment. Here's the poem, Wild Geese, by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.